Hello, hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 267. Ooh. Alright, so, coming off the last chapter, we have Megami's pseudo return, and we have Yuji's arm brazier things that we literally have never had explained previously before, finally revealed. And under them, we see that one of his hands is missing 2 fingers, and we also get a cutaway to one of Sukuna's missing fingers. Interesting. We'll get an answer to why that finger still exists in just a minute. Now let's begin. So this chapter starts off with, once again, my goat, Yuta. And Gojo's there too. This is back when they switched bodies, so you'll see Yuta, but that's actually Gojo, and Gojo is actually Yuta. Not that complicated, don't think about it further. Anyway, basically they're discussing, and it seems like Yuta has asked Gojo, basically, hey, you have the last finger, can I get it so that I can copy Sukuna's technique? And basically he says, no. Now, Yuta thinks he's joking, but actually Gojo's really serious. He's basically saying that I want you to leave the finger alone because, one, it's not even going to be that useful because while you will have the technique, you won't know any of the tips or tricks on like how to use it in the first place. And Yuta basically confirms like, yeah, like even something like cursed speech, like all of like the special applications that make it like pretty strong, like for example, like using it through the phone or through technology, like something like that, he would not have, like he would have had to like sit there and like figure out how to use that, versus having Inumaki available meant that he could just ask him how to use it, or he could just tell him. Versus something like Cleveland's Mantle obviously can't talk to Sukuna, and Sukuna's definitely not going to tell him, so he would only like maybe kind of know how to use it, sorta, but not at the most effective level. The other reason why Gojo decides not to give him the finger is because he's basically pulling a Hikari in this moment and making a gamble, feeling the fever and riding it all the way. So he offers an alternative. Basically, they go over to Yuji, and they're basically like, Yuji, you want to give me one of your fingers so I can get your technique? Well, get Sukuna's technique? And Yuji's basically like, oh, I mean, sure, why not? Like, can I give you, like, whatever piece you need, right, so you can use the ability? In exchange, I just, well, not exchange, but basically afterwards, I just heal myself. And Yuta basically explains, like, no, that's not, like, an option, because if you heal the body part that was consumed by Yuta then becomes useless. Basically, like, I guess you could say it's like a sort of binding vow for the copy technique, where it's like if he takes whatever he takes away from the original user has to be like permanent, like steel. So like that actually kind of explains why he doesn't have like tens of hundreds of techniques. Because if anybody who gets permanently injured by him and gets their body part eaten for him to copy their technique, also can't heal that back ever. So it means that, like, he can't just copy literally all of his friends' techniques, because he'd also need to like sufficiently take a piece of their body to use their technique, for one. It's limited uses too, and 3, they could never heal it, or else he wouldn't even be able to use the technique in the first place, making it pointless. So that is that. But from there, they basically have Yuta and Mei basically talking about Yuji as, like, Yuji's kind of like, I guess you could say, like, looking at them, but like not really. But basically just talking about the plan and basically saying, like, they don't want to tell him something really important to the plan or whatever, but they are going to still take his finger, and they're basically just going to leave him out on that part to, 1, keep his confidence up so that he's locked in, but 2, because potentially Sukuna might be listening in on their plans, in a way. Right? So, once we're done with this flashback, we then move on back to Sukuna and Yuji facing off. And Sukuna's looking at the finger, he's like, that's weird. He took off one of his pinky, but take off his ring finger. That's fine. And then he realizes, Yuta, old fucking Gotsu, had a plan. And the plan was a fucking bluff. Way back when, Remember when Yuta uses the cleave attack and he's basically like, and Sukuna's basically like, oh, you must have eaten my last finger, huh? And presumably Yuta says yes, but I'm pretty sure he basically like soft confirms it. Like he didn't say yes, but he kind of like doesn't say no. He kind of just leaves it up in the air, right? And obviously we all just assume like he ate the finger. Well, no, that was a bluff. In reality, the finger is still locked up somewhere in Jujutsu Tech. And we cut away to Gakuganji and Otohime, basically talking about the finger and talking about some mysterious girl who's a part of the plan, right? And it turns out that girl is none other than Nobara Kugasaki. The myth, the girl, the one with the missing eye, has returned. All the Nobara copers, the she's not dead copers, the dreamers, yeah, no, they were right. They were spitting the whole time. Every time they were like, nah, she's coming back. She's gonna be a big part of the Sukuna fight. Well, shit. They were spitting. Let's follow up. After she immediately comes in, she locks in, takes her nail, takes her hammer, Straw Doll activated resonance on the finger, boom, spikes through Sukuna's chest, and immediately he realizes like, oh fuck, that girl is alive, and she's hit me with her resonance, shit. And of course, Yuji's like, shit, that's fucking goated. Because just like us, I don't think he even knew that she was alive. Well, it's kind of suggested in the beginning of the chapter, but yeah, he didn't know. So he sees this, he's like, oh snap, she is back. And then immediately, bang, dismantle. And then he starts following up on Sukuna, right? He starts beating the crap out of him. But Sukuna fights back because somehow, despite everything, even after a resonance straight to the chest, can't block that at all. There is no block for that. And he was unprepared, so he definitely took that full damage. He still isn't dead. He hits Yuji back, and he's basically like, you know, you haven't even been healing this whole time. You know what? Whatever, right? You haven't even been healing. You're probably at your limit. So how dare you act like I'm at mine? And he punches Yuji in the face, but Yuji fights back. He swings, hits Sukuna in the face, and then he uses the double impact. The double impact of defeat. Because as soon as he uses the double impact, that means your ass is fucked. Gets hit with the double impact, he's staggered a little bit. Then, Yuji hits him with the one-liner. Sukuna, it's time we end this cycle of curses. Black Ash. Uppercut into the solar plexus. Bang. Explosion through the back of the body. His whole back, gone, basically. They did the thing where they say a big reference to like the whole world or whatever, ending the cycle of curses. Yeah, it's over. I fear it's done. Sukuna is dead. And Nobara's back. I call this peak. Some people don't like this. Right? They're like, you know, it should have just been Yuji's one-on-one. Like, he should have finished it all by himself. Yuji hasn't done this whole fight by himself. We're way past the point of Yuji doing something by himself. We're past that point. As for Nobara coming back, it's like, oh, you know, she shouldn't have came back so late or whatever. Hey, that's what Gege wanted to do. I think it's fine, just because, you know, I was a Nobara Coper for quite a while. I kind of gave up over last few chapters, but I like it. It's cool. The surprise, the assistance, the kind of sort of like in a similar manner to how Yuji came back. You know, it's during, like, I wouldn't say like a quiet hour where it's like, you know, we don't know what we're gonna do. Like, it kind of wasn't like that with the what was it? I forget what it was called, what the arc's called, but it's not quite like that. But I do like the idea of like her coming back in like a complete surprise, like no one saw it coming. I like it. I think it's a nice touch. And yeah, I like the fact that she got to assist, because it would have been more annoying if we ended the series and truly we just never ever like really touched on it. Like, obviously there were hints to it, but we never had anything explicitly said. So having it at this point be explicitly said that actually she was not dead, but
presumably was getting healed the whole time, or maybe was like in critical condition. So like it was really a like tough process bringing her back slowly, especially since he took most likely soul damage. So probably was a little bit more complicated than like regular healing or anything. Oh, that's fair. But to each their own. I'm probably fine. You don't like it. I just think it's fine. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, chapter went pretty nicely. I liked it as it was. I like the Yuta plan once more. Anything to gas up my goats, that's fine with me. And yeah, can't wait for the next one. No break next week. We're down to 3 well, no, I think we're still on 4. We're still on 4 chapters left. We're down to 4 boys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and watch the videos on the right. Other than that, the doc is out. Bye.